Broadcast. Back. Want to welcome everyone to Global Markets Radio Daily Recap. I'm your host, Andrew Spanton. April the 18th, 2012, 4 p.m. Eastern. As you can tell, I do not have a voice. El voz is bye-bye. But 2 days off. Figured you folks, you freebies, were freaking out. So I decided to do one. I'll try and make it quick. I don't have much of a voice. So, what a day. S&P's pretty much nowhere. No follow-through. Although the yen's had a nice move. Yen carry trade. Hopefully you got that tweet I sent out. Remember, my Twitter is Voice of Forex. Check it out. Yen's are very good. But Australia, New Zealand, all down on the day. Sterling up. Pound Aussie, pound Kiwi to the moon. And what's amazing is you have the S&P relatively unchanged. But I think that's telling us something. Canadian dollar. Pretty much reversing any gains. We had gold down. But you look at these S&Ps. And there's really no news today on the economic front. Crude inventory is surging. 3.9 million barrels. The estimate was for 1.5. Tomorrow's numbers are going to be very important. Out of the U.S., jobless claims, see if they continue to tick up. But the big event tonight is a Spanish 10-year auction. If it doesn't go well, say bye-bye. You did have earnings disappointments coming out of IBM, Intel. That also hurt the market today as well. But obviously cable, the big story. Holy crap. Posen, one of the MPC members. But again, back to the S&P. We'll talk about that in a second. But this S&P, we don't get through 1394. This could be a flip pole, flag, and back down. Absolutely. I'm still bearish. If we get a good bond auction, somehow they pull the rabbit out of the hat, and we take out 1394, and we go through 1400, which is the big retracement, then we fly. Big time. 1400 is a monster spot. I really felt like we really should hit that level. But in looking at this and reassessing, you see this ceiling on the S&P. Should this auction not go well, we're going to be down nicely. So, certainly interesting that the euro was able to hold up, given the collapse in euro sterling, given all the negativity coming up. So, my gut, if you will, is more that they're probably going to pull it off. Is it a sell on the news event? Probably. But if we don't take out 1394 and the auction doesn't go well, euro should melt. And we see here, obviously, 130, even though it was breached, is a big level on the euro. But they get this sucker, they get a good auction. You're talking 133. And remember, LTRO, trash for cash. These banks have a ton of euros. They can buy a lot of it. And that's what they've been instructed to do. Invest the money. So, while I'm relatively downbeat, they might pull it off. And I'll tell you, this euro takes out 132-ish. It's going to 133 fast. Do I think it's going to get through 133? No way. But I think you have a lot of people short this euro on a bad Spanish auction. It comes out even in line. You'll see explode to the moon. And again, sterling, to me, yes, we had claimant count better. That's their non-farm payroll. We had the unemployment rate tick down. But in all my years of trading the pound and following the London economy, the big number a lot of times when it's off a lot or up and down is average earnings. And that number continues to disappoint, 1.1%. But this cable posing, reversing, and saying no more stimulus. Last I checked, didn't London have negative GDP? So when you look at this chart, you certainly feel like it could go higher. But I just don't see how. Stock markets, global markets are going to come in, and this thing's going to keep going higher. I don't see it, but I do see is potential 161-ish, a little before that. And, you do your Fibonacci's, as always. Let's see if we do it from here. 161 lines up perfect with the golden retracement. Oh, baby. So you get up to 161. I think you got to back that truck up because London is not doing very well. Negative GDP. I mean, come on. And we look at gold continues to drop. Markets are very nervous. The Fed might not do more QE3. Gold is extremely heavy. Can't get out of its own way. Unless gold takes out 1660, this baby wants to melt. And I think you get a bad Spanish auction. And if the ECB or anyone backs away from really helping out the situation and printing more euros, you could get more downside in gold. But if there's more action, more printing of money, printing euros, printing dollars, gold's going to have a big pop. But for now, I think gold certainly, you measure the move from the bounce. I'm looking at down 1575 in that zone. Crude coming in, rolling over. Inventories exploding. How about that Empire Manufacturing number the other day? Disgusting. Not very good. But we do have plenty of data coming out tonight. Nothing out of Europe except for the Spanish debt auction, 10-year. But tonight in Asia, we get some good data. New Zealand, quarterly inflation report. Kiwi looks like it's falling off a cliff. Almost an outside candle. Looks terrible. Rolling over. Break it out to break it down. It's failed. This baby, say bye-bye. Now, I think the estimate's a little high. A little high for the Kiwi. 0.6. Last quarter, it was negative 0.3. So, when you add up the net over the last, 6 months, you're looking at an increase of only 0.3%. And that would be 0.6 year on year on headline CPI. That's not very good. That's almost deflationary. So should this number come out lower, any bit, 0.5, that's a big miss. And the revision isn't revised up. That's a big miss. We get Shirakawa speaking also, 6:30 tonight, p.m. Eastern. Any hint of more printing yen to save their economy, you could see dollar yen head back up. But this Kiwi looks terrible. Closing, terrible. Stock market wasn't even relatively down that much. So I think that's telling us something. But dollar yen, certainly closing nicely. Clearing the tower. But made some big headwind stall. Could not really get through. And stall right at actually one of our target levels, and the 20, 30 EMA. So dollar yen, I think, failed. I think dollar yen looks like it's going back down. And if Shibukawa does not deliver, I think dollar yen absolutely heads back down. Let me take a look at some of the yens. Euro yen, we had a nice bounce. Again, up to the EMA. Trying to break this little downtrend here, but looks like it failed. We've been rallying for 3 days straight. Not much. Sterling yen, big rally today. And we take a look at this one with the Fibonacci at the 50. So we could certainly even get up to 131, and we would still be a short. Aussie yen, Kiwi yen, all rolled over. Shooting stars galore. Not very good. We look at the Aussie. Failed. Couldn't even take our previous day high. Rolling over. Aussie Kiwi continues to rally. Breaking higher ahead of the quarterly inflation report. That's not good. It's not good for Kiwi. That's for sure. And we look at this dollar Canada. Unbelievable 2-day run. Inside day, you got your little harami here. I got to tell you, the market was expecting, there were rumors, UBS, right? UBS was saying there was going to be a rate cut. There was no rate cut. There was talk about a rate cut in the future. But that's all based upon the premise that Europe gets their act together. Well, I think we all know what I feel about that. Europe is not getting its act together. Europe is in big trouble. Europe could definitely bring down the global economy. And if that happens, Bank of Canada ain't going to do squat. So I think the fact that we couldn't even get follow-through to the downside after that great news. And then, you had the Bank of Canada report today. That wasn't so good. Again, same thing. Yes, they see growth a little better. They're banking on the U.S. doing better, which is not true. U.S. is not doing better. Jobs. Now we saw some manufacturing chinks in the armor. Housing sucks. And we even saw IBM. Big Blue. Disappoint. Maybe the start of something. But this dollar Canada, to me, you get risk off. This baby's going back up. And you see Euro Canada, a little bit of reversal here. So you get it. We could get one of those European rallies. Should the Europeans get their act together and have a good Spanish bond auction? I really don't know. I'm more tempted to say yes. They will get their act together. I mean, could they be that dumb not to have their ducks in a row for this auction? But I've counted on the Europeans doing the right thing or, for the markets, and they don't. So it's a big night. Big night. Euro Canada, it's certainly a hammer. Could be a nice little pop long, maybe get short of 131. On very strong news. But this dollar Canada, to me, it was a shock to hear the words raising rates, I think, in the markets. But when you digest it, it's all predicated on better growth going forward. So give me a break. I don't see it. Dollar Swiss, nice little reversal. Was grinding up nicely. A little bit of a shooting star. I still think this dollar Swiss, we could be talking down here. 90.50. So, a lot of these charts, commodity currencies look terrible. European currencies don't look so bad. With that said, then you're looking at pound Aussie breaking out to the moon. Look at this thing. Gone. We take out 155 to the moon. So much of that reversal yesterday. It was not fun, but flagging. This baby looks like it's going higher. Pound Kiwi breaking out. Major move. Multi-month high. Closing at the highs. Big. The sucker target. And listen, this thing's all over the place, but this thing is closing so freaking strong. Looks like double par. Pound Kiwi. That looks amazing. And I'll tell you, with all the pound news, pound Canada. Again, I don't believe in this pound rally. I think it's a joke, but, Euro sterling coming in like it did, broke big time. This baby is busted. I told you where I think this thing should be. This is one of my calls for 2012. You look at a 10-year chart in this sucker. We're talking down here, 77. Now, obviously, if that happens, cable could fly or euro collapses. Pick your poison. But I think this euro sterling looks terrible. But again, if they get their act together and they pull this bond auction off, we're going up. Did that. All right. My voice is killing me, but I gave you what you needed, people. Again, tonight, Australia business confidence, big number. We look at this Aussie. Can't rally. S&Ps were trying to fly, and this sucker couldn't rally. It's telling you. Aussie Kiwi up, and this thing can't rally. That means one thing. Say goodnight. Now, again, it's all about Asia. Europe, I'm not so sure. Europe is the key. Spanish auction is the key. And then, of course, jobless claims. You get a good Spanish auction. And we're through, maybe we're up big, gap up. But you get 390, 385 again on weekly jobless claims, it's over. Say goodnight. Bye-bye. So, but again, tonight's numbers in Asia I think are important. Shiwakawa tonight is important out of Japan. This is in Asia. Trading. Big event, New Zealand. And again, if it's a hot number, hey, buy it. This should be a very easily trading number. From Australia, business confidence-wise, that number should suck. And New Zealand. All right, people. Hopefully you miss me. Hopefully you share my video. I think you got to be nimble and be ready to go both ways. Once again, these S&Ps, you get a good bond auction. We break through 1394. We go up to 1400. Gap up. And then possible nice reversal. And don't forget, we have the IMF. We have the G20, I think, coming up this weekend. So there could be headline risk from that. But this S&P chart, in my opinion, does not look very good. I could see us not taking it out. But if we do take it out, you better run for the hills. Euro's going to explode. Oh, baby. Big night. Down in Asia. Down in Europe. Possible rally on Spanish bond auction. And then back down again on bad jobless claims. How's that sound? Oh, mama. Existing home sales, Philly, Fed. Posen speaking tomorrow, 1 o'clock. That's going to be big. Remember, he was the one that now doesn't want to do stimulus. He's going to speak about why he said that. G20 does start tomorrow. Very curious what Posen has to say. If he sounds any bit dovish, re- takes away his statement in any way, and the pound's trading at that 161 level, back the truck up and sell. Andrew Spanton, Global Markets Radio, the only voice you'll ever need, who truly loves to make you money. Share my video. Try my service. If you miss me, well, I still delivered for premium. Oh, baby. Have a good one.